The history of unpunished violence against our people clearly indicates that we must be prepared. As Americans, we will not give up a single right guaranteed under the Constitution.
Being here, it's your boy again, your friend, the Five Guy, aka Jet Black, aka the Man Behind the Mic, aka Everything Finest, aka Get Out the Chocolate, aka Black Panther. First of all, thank everybody out here again, because like I said, you guys are always gonna get a chance to talk. I'm never gonna ignore anybody. We love to hear from everybody, and everybody has something they want to say to this. I mean, no matter what, skin color, creed, race, religion, no matter what. And that's the thing that I want everybody in here to get, and that's one thing that I feel like you guys have gotten. No matter what religion, no matter what somebody is saying, no matter how stupid it may sound, everyone's somewhat accepting of it. You know, we're biting our tongues. It may sound stupid, however, we take that. We take you guys for for who you are, and we love you guys for who you are. We can roo rah rah all we want to, kumbaya, and we can form, we can plot, we can mobilize, we can do all these things. However, if we do not, and again, have allies, if we do not listen to each other, if we do not understand and have some sort of an agreement or some coming together or a roundtable discussion, nothing will get solved. Point your fingers at me. However, this is not a one-man gang. Y'all know this. Like this is not rocket science. This is not a one-man gang. I can relay the message. However, I can't. The whole action thing as a whole. It comes from us. It comes from within.
It's the Jet Black Daily Show. It's the Jet Black Daily Show. It's the Jet Black Daily Show. It's the Jet Black. Ooh. It's the Jet Black. Ooh. It's the Jet Black Daily Show.
Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whether you are on a plane, on a train, riding a bus, or just chilling on the back of your deck. Maybe you're having a glass of Chardonnay with a nice stogie pulling it from your lips this morning or this evening. We want to, first of all, say, we love you. Be encouraged. You are important and you have value. This is the Jet Black Daily Show. Each one, reach one, teach one. I'm Carl Ross Sr.
And I'm Corey Lagucci Graves.
Right on. And we are here to send a wonderful message of love and compassion for our fellow brother. Today is January the 28th. Today is January the 28th, 2021, and it's a little bit cold out there. And we're warm on the inside, though. And we have a wonderful, wonderful special guest with us on the day. We are super, super excited to have Mr. Dwayne Jones with us today. Yeah, our president is black. Right on. We are super, super excited about that. And we're going to take some time and get into it. I guess we can go ahead and get right into it. But, Corey, I want to know from you, man, you got some type of expression, man, about what this empowerment is doing for you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, and I appreciate you, Carl, for throwing it to me. And
Right on.
I'm just blessed and humbled to have the opportunity to be able to speak on this platform,
Yes, sir.
because it's so amazing what we have going on. We lifting our culture, community, inspiring, uplifting one another. And I'm just so blessed to be here. It's overwhelming, and I can't say enough. I'm smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, my brother, I'm with you.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
with you. Right on, right on. This is what this is all about. I feel the same way. I feel exactly like you. And this is what Jet Black Empowerment Foundation is all about. Empowering. Each one, reach one, teach one. Well, listen, I know you guys have been waiting long enough, so we're going to get right on into it. Mr. Jones, welcome to the show. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here, sir.
It's my honor to be here. It's my honor to be here. And thank you guys so much for looking to continue Aaron's legacy in this way. You know, this podcasting was what he was all about. This is really where he felt comfortable, and that was his thing, was to get his family on the podcast. So to see you guys continuing this is the greatest thing I could ever say.
Right on, right on. We feel that, don't we?
Yes,
Corey?
sir. Humbled.
Yes, sir. Very humbling. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to go ahead and ask you a few questions. First question we have for you is, tell our listener audience who you are and some of the things that you have achieved, Mr. Jones.
Wow. Well, again, as I said earlier, my name is Dwayne Jones, and most importantly, I'm Aaron's father. Yeah. Most of my career was spent in the automotive industry. I was in the automotive industry for over 30 years. Started out in sales and went into management, and then ended up the general manager of the Infiniti dealership here in Greensboro. And resigned from there and started my own company. I started Unique Automotives. A lot of people probably know that name, Unique Automotives, from the area. And from there, spent about 15 years. And then I recently retired. I retired about 6 months ago.
That's awesome, man. That is so awesome, man. So you told us about Unique, and so that means those cars had to be room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
V8 or better had to
Absolutely.
be. Right on,
Yeah,
right on.
absolutely. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now that you already kind of told us your association with Jet Black Empowerment Foundation, but tell us the day, what your days are like as the president of the Jet Black Empowerment Foundation.
Yeah, well, you know, for me, it's just, you know, I'm taking over what Aaron started, most of all. This is something that he had really just started up with his podcast friend and the group that he was working with in podcast. And so it's just something that I've taken on, and it's truly been my therapy. I tell everybody it's been my therapy.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yes, sir. Nothing wrong with that. Now, I know the motto is each one, reach one, teach one. Excuse me. Can you tell me what that means and how it works within how it encompasses inside of the organization?
That's a good question. Well, you know, that phrase was really just something I used in conversation when I was talking with Aaron, and I think it must have resonated with him because he continued to use it after that. But the phrase itself is very simple. It's just, you know, each person is paying forward. You know, anytime that you're with someone and you can give them something, a good word, pass it on to the next person. The cause and effect is each one, reach one, teach one. And
Yes, sir.
That's truly what it's all about, and that's what we want to do. And that becomes infinite. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Perfect slogan.
Perfect slogan,
Perfect.
right? Keeps going and on.
Yes.
Just like technology.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Yeah.
Now, tell us the different social media platforms where people can subscribe and follow and like, as well as tell us a little bit about the website. I hope I'm not getting too ahead of myself on that.
Well, no, not really. I mean, I think we've come along pretty well in a short time, because again, this foundation is really in its infancy. But we're set up with the website. We have Facebook. We're on Twitter. And I really encourage anyone to go to the website. And if you go to the website, you'll really get a good feel for what Jet Black Empowerment stands for and what we're all about. And you'd really get to learn a lot about Aaron himself, because it really talks about my son Aaron and about his life. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's all this is about his honor.
That's beautiful. From a father to a son. Right on. And remember, everybody, that website is thejetblackenpowerment.com. That's thejetblackenpowerment.com. Hurry over and visit that website quickly. All right, Mr. Jones, can you tell us about some of the projects that you have in place at the Jet Black Empowerment Foundation? I guess that encompasses with the website as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, excuse me. Again, we've only been about 6 months in existence, but we've done a lot of volunteering in the community, helping the schools out with kids with school supplies. We made several donations. We've donated to Urban Ministries, Salvation Army, Help Homeless for House for Women, those types of things. So for single mothers. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that we have coming up very shortly is we're going to be doing free haircuts for children ages 5 through 12. And I think the date is February 21st. Okay. And that's going to be at Swivel Barbershop. So make sure the parents call in and get an appointment, and they want to get with Chris or get with Chase, set up an appointment to get free haircuts for these kids.
Right on. We know Swivel is tight with the lines.
Yes, you know this called They Are Fresh. Sharp, Steve Harvey Shop.
I'm trying
They'll
to tell
take you
you.
there.
When he had his afro, my bro.
Exactly, when he had it.
Yes, indeed.
And we're constantly looking for the next worthy cause.
Yes, sir.
Next worthy cause.
Oh.
Everything, when we finish one thing, it's about the next worthy cause.
Man, that's beautiful. I hope you guys heard that. So click thejetblackenpowerment.com. Thejetblackenpowerment.com. Now that you told us all that, how can the folks get involved with these projects?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, one way is we actually have a registration button on the website. So if they wanted to, if they could just go to the website and go to the registration tab and just put in their information and let us know what it is, what they're interested in doing, how they'd like to get involved. And of course, someone will get back in touch with them right away.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. And not only are you guys so far as getting involved, how can excuse me, y'all. So register online. So go to thejetblackenpowerment.com to register. Register online. Click www.thejetblackenpowerment.com. I had to make sure I got all them W's right. You know what I'm saying? So not only can the folks get involved with volunteering just by registering online, but they also can donate as well, Mr. Jones.
Sure. Okay. Absolutely. They can also do that on the website as well. There's also a tab for donations. When you go on and tab to donate, it sends you to PayPal, so you can do it right through PayPal. You can use credit card.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people like the Cash App these days. We can do Cash App. And of course, the old check. If you want to do a check, you make that out to the Aaron T. Jones Jet Black Memorial Fund.
All right, I hope you guys heard that. So make those checks payable to the Aaron Jones Memorial Fund.
Yes.
And I heard you mention the Cash App. How can they Cash App their cash?
Yep. The Cash App would be Unique 3815. Cash App. Unique 3815.
All right. Let's get them $50 in. Let's get them $100 in. Like the good preacher would say, we got a $100 line, $50 line,
yes,
$25 line. And get on that Cash App. That Cash App again is Unique 3815. That's unique 3815. That is the Cash App handle. All right, and the last question, maybe a tough one. And but here at Jet Black, we want to make sure that we ask very, very important questions, but also ones that prick the heart, so people can also see how you still move and how you still work, even in spite of everything that is going on with you losing your son. How do you stay focused? How do you stay empowered? How do you stay encouraged with the day in of continuing the legacy of Mr. Aaron T. Jones? How do you do that, along with the staff and your family as well, the balance that comes with that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I say it's through grace of God. And, you know, I've said repeatedly, this foundation has really been my therapy, man. I mean, otherwise, I've said before, I think I may be somewhere in a padded room in a straitjacket.
Yes.
You know? Because I tell you, when you lose a loved one, especially your child, it's one of the hardest things that you're going to probably ever experience. Okay? It makes you really rely on your faith. You know, you've got to really rely on your faith at that point. And as you try to search for the answers of why this happened, why are you going through this? But, you know, now we know, you know, this is our new life and we have to accept it, you know? And it really is a new life without him. So we continue this foundation, and it gives us a sense of connection. You know, we just feel like this gives us a sense of connection with him, and continue to do the work that he had gotten started. I know he's looking down on us.
Yes,
I know he's proud. And Aaron is truly missed, but he'll never be forgotten.
That's right.
Yeah. And the way that he touched people in his life is the way that we want to continue to touch people with his legacy.
Right on, Mr. Jones. Very well said. Very passionate and very heartfelt. We thank you for being strong. It gives us something to look at as well. It also gives us an insight of who your son was. You are his father. He would have kept going. And sir, you have definitely kept going. And if I can't tell you, I'm sure Corey feels the same way. We are super, super proud of you. And it's an honor to carry this marathon. The marathon continues. This race, it is not a quick race. It truly is a marathon.
Well, as I said before, Carl, I mean, I know he's looking down on us.
Yeah.
And he's so proud right now. He's so proud right now of everything that we're doing in his honor. You know, you coming on, you, Corey, you know, stepping in and taking on this podcast. This is truly Aaron's passion. Aaron worked for me in the business. He was my marketing manager and sales manager.
Awesome.
And I saw him really start to gravitate to the podcast. You know, we would sometimes be in the car together, going to the auctions and things like that. And he listened to podcasts the whole time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it used to be where we would always listen to old school music because Aaron had an old soul about him. You know, we would, a lot of times he would school me on music. And I'd be like, man, what's that about? Wait, what you know about that? You
right
know
on.
what you know about that? What you know about that?
Yeah.
So that was back then. And then it became when he started really getting interested in the podcast.
Yeah.
We would listen to podcasts every time we were in the car.
Awesome.
And when Aaron would leave work and go home, I mean, it was on. I mean, it was his audience. He would start his shows, and he'd do shows from the time he got home to the time he went to bed. You know, and then a lot of times he'd do a show before he came to work in the morning, his morning show. Then he'd go home for lunch and do a middle of the day show. You know, and I never really. He didn't talk to me a lot about it. I didn't know how effective he was and how he was really touching people through his podcast.
Absolutely.
One day we had gone to lunch, and he goes, "Dad, you know, it says I'm on Podbean, and I've got the #1 show." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So So he said, check this out. So he goes into Podbean, and there's this young lady, she was actually doing her show at that particular time.
Yes.
And she goes, oh my God, he's here, it's the Pod God. And I'm like, this young lady is all excited because my son's tuning into her show this way. And I was just like, it's the Pod God, he's the reason I'm doing this,
Yeah.
And I could see her excitement and her enthusiasm about him and how he had made her feel, and him being the reason why she was actually doing that herself,
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I think he's really found something that he really is enjoying doing, and it showed. And it showed.
Yes, yes.
Because I did. The last show was Father's Day. Yeah. The day after we discovered Aaron's body. And what really made me know how he touched people was when I turned the show over to the callers, the people that were on the line, and asked them if they wanted to make any comments. And everyone that called in, first of all, was emotional. Most of them couldn't even speak at the time. It was, okay, you go ahead and go to somebody else, come back to me, because they really couldn't speak. So that really told me, well, first of all, I'll back up for a minute, because when I went to do that, my whole idea was to go down, talk to his audience, tell them exactly what happened, and to let them know who Pod God really was.
Yeah.
They knew him as Pod God, but my son is Aaron.
Right.
But when I left there, it was the other way around. These people told me who he was.
Yeah. That's good stuff. That's priceless, Mr. Jones. Which leads us right into what we're going to talk about today, is why am I so emotional? So I'm going to read just a little bit of this from my heart and from my perspective. I want to read something, and I'm going to share this with the audience, and maybe it also can bring some healing to somebody else who may be going some trying times, some emotional times. And so I'm going to take some time and read this and share this with everyone else. I get it. I get emotions. I get hard times. But boy, you got to keep going sometimes, even through the thick of life. Why am I so emotional? Why am I so emotional? I was going to make this exclusive to men only, but I thought about it. And no, everyone deals with emotions. COVID-19, police brutality, divorce, family issues, careers, and what we just saw take place at the Capitol. I mean, we have a plethora of things happening today in our society, and we see emotions on full display. Lights, camera, action. Emotions are a big part of human race. Emotions tell whether something is good or something is bad. Sometimes your emotions can be a direct image of what you may be going through in your mind, in your heart, even who you talk to or what you listen to on a daily basis. So let's discuss the word emotion. The meaning of the word emotion is a natural instinct, a state of mind delivering from one's circumstances, mood, or relationship with others. Listen, I'm going to give you some examples of emotions we see happening around us in our daily interactions with each other. Joy, excitement, surprise, sadness, anger, disgust, contempt, fear, shame, guilt, rejection, just to name a few. I think it's fair to say that we all have felt these emotions at some point in our lives. And the church said amen. And yes, there are quite a few emotions that the human race can feel daily. But I want to say this to you. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to allow yourself to feel these emotions. From a male perspective, some of us are taught, you better not cry. It shows weakness when you cry. And some women may feel that way too, oddly enough. In my opinion, though, I feel like it's okay to cry. Crying gives you the opportunity to release the frustrations, the anger, and pain in a healthy way. But we all must admit, you must dry your tears, and keep it moving. Being vulnerable to your emotion doesn't mean you succumb to the actions of these emotions. In other words, there are healthy ways to deal with your emotions. Now listen, I'm not painting a picture as if I've had it all together all my life, because trust me, I have not. What is important for the Jet Black Daily Show is to create an environment of safe dialogue to help you be empowered in every area of your life. Now, I want to make sure that you know I am not a doctor, nor am I a certified psychologist. I too suffer with depression and anxiety. You wouldn't know it though to meet me. And yes, I still do therapy today, and yes, I do take my medication. Boy, you better take your medication or you might cut up on somebody. You know what I'm saying? I was clinically diagnosed with it about 2 years ago. But I made up in my mind that I wasn't going to allow the depression and anxiety to take control of my life. Nah, I can't do that. Instead, I found a healthier way to overcome it and fight through it. Hell yeah, it was hard. I wish I could tell you every day was easy, but it wasn't. You know, I had a real good friend say this to me, who also suffers with depression and anxiety. He said to me, Ross, reach deep within yourself and fight for your life. Now, I must say, it came with quite a few challenges, but I'm fighting and I'm winning, and you can too. So now that I dropped that on you, I want to share a few tools that I use daily to overcome and continue to win against the battle of depression and anxiety. So put on your boxing gloves and get ready to fight. In the end, it's worth it. Meditation and prayer every morning. Walking daily. Now, I'm a big fella, but I still get my walk on. 2 miles is all you got to give them. 30 minutes worth of walking. I do my therapy. I do my daily affirmations to myself. That's right. I tell myself I'm great. I tell myself every single day, you a black diamond and you can handle that pressure. You know what I'm saying? Changed my environment. Sometimes you got to get away from those old friends, those people who are around toxic relationships. Nah, I can't do it. I treat myself. In other words, I celebrate Chris. Nobody else is cheering for me. I cheer for myself. Communicating effectively, educating myself about my illness, doing my homework that's given by my therapist. That's right, the work doesn't stop while you're in therapy. You got to take it home and apply it. I include my spouse in my therapy sessions. That's right, me and my wife, we get down in the grit. She reads to me, we speak, we both. It's our love language. Enjoying what I love to do. Now, I told you a little bit about me and my perspective on it so that you know that at Jet Black Empowerment, the brothers that they have on here, it's not just some fly by night, but we've had our challenges, but we overcome and we winning. So I'm going to shoot it over to my brother, Corey Lil Gucci Graves, because he got 9 easy tips for emotional balance. Take a listen. Check out what he has to say.
Appreciate you, Carl, for throwing it to me.
Right on.
And just like he said, I got 9 easy tips for the emotional balance. This is by Keno McGregor, a contributor, international yoga teacher, and author. Tip 1, breathing. Tip 2, practice gratitude. 3, change your viewpoint. Tip 4, feel. Tip 5, use your senses. Tip 6, generate energy. That's a big one, that energy.
Yeah, right on.
Number 7, reflect. Number 8 is dream. And number 9 is surrender. And those are 9 easy tips to help balance your emotions.
Right on, brother. I appreciate that. But we have got to let Mr. Jones chime in on this emotional piece and give us a little bit of perspective. It's only right. We'd like to hear from you, Mr. Jones, your perspective also on these emotions.
Yeah. I mean, I sat here and I listened to what you had to say about your journey and what you deal with as far as your emotions are concerned. And you know that is so true. And we all are dealing with something.
Yes.
Every one of us. We all have our demons. So we have to try to figure out a way that we can control those demons and how we can work through those demons, you know? And for me, one of the biggest things is, and you touched on that as well, and that is having your faith, and that is having your time with God every day. And I do that every day so that He can speak to me.
Yeah.
And He will speak to you. If you listen, He will speak to you. But you gotta go to your quiet space, and you gotta get to your space and give Him the opportunity to let Him speak to you and tell you what He wants you to do. And I'll be honest with you, as I said earlier, if I had not had that faith, and if I would not be here today, because my son meant that much to me. My son still means that much to me. So emotions, yeah, I'm dealing with emotions every day. A lot of those tips that you just read through, Corey, those are very important tips. And each one of those means something. And I'm sure that, and not just the word itself, there's probably dialogue that you can put with that to go along with each one of those words that you came up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Now that sounded like a sermon, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Reverend Jones.
Amen.
Pass the plate, please.
Each one, reach one,
Teach one.
Yes,
Right
sir.
on.
You know? That's exactly
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes,
whether
sir.
it's about life, whether it's about business, whether it's about your relationship with your other person.
Right.
It's all full circle.
That's right.
It's all full circle.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I hope that these tools that I use in my life, as well as what was implemented and said here on today, will be a huge benefit to help you navigate through life's problems and issues. And if you have any thoughts of suicide, we do have a National Suicide Prevention Lifeline that's available 24/7, free and confidential. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-787-7233. And of course, those words would be SAFE. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. And National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-787-7233. SAFE. And I think the same thing goes for veterans too. They use that same hotline. If I'm not mistaken, if so, somebody chime me in at some point and let me know that I was incorrect. But I think I'm correct about that. These two lines will definitely help you. And again, they are available 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's free and confidential. We are here to help, support, listen, have healthy dialogue, so that you can too be empowered. It's the Jet Black way. Each one, reach one, teach one. I'm Carl Ross Sr.
And I'm Corey Lagucci Graves.
Right on. And please click, and hit that website, thejetblackenempowerment.com, as we continue the legacy of Mr. Aaron T. Jones. Thank you for listening to the Jet Black Daily Show. Peace. Right on.
Exactly. We have each other. Thank you. I mean, and that's above all. And that's above all. So again, while everybody in here was talking before earlier, and I know that some people may not have agreed with the next one, and the next one may not agree with the last one. However, we all need each other. We all need each other.
Controversies, everything going on in the world.
I'm trying to tell you, we're even going to start off with just breaking down the emotional part of the man, then all the way building you all the way up so that you can become a whole man in society. That's what it's all about. Each one, reach one, teach one.
And there's definitely levels to this, so please lock in with us at the Jet Black Daily Show.
Transparency is necessary to get you the truth.
And communication is definitely key.
Right on, right on, right on. The Jet Black and